And so we'll be doing a guided meditation today. We're using 3 different techniques. First starting with the breath, and the third eye meditation, and then a contemplation and self-inquiry into our true nature and abiding in that true nature at the end of the session. So some of you may wish to just start with the breath. You may wish to follow my instructions into the further meditations. However, if you wish to, you can just stay with the breath. Or if you feel uncomfortable you doing the other meditations or don't understand it or confused in any way, you can bring your attention back and just bring your attention to the breath and just focus on the breath, using the breath as an anchor throughout this session. Also, for people who have their own meditation techniques, you can practice your technique and just use this space for support. And so, yeah, we'll just make a start. You can sit in any posture you're comfortable in, preferably keeping the spine upright, and just closing your eyes now. And as you close your eyes, just bringing your attention to the breath at the nostril area. As you breathe in, you can feel the air passing through the inner nostril as you inhale. And as you exhale, you can feel that sensation of air coming back out the nostrils as you exhale. So we're just observing the natural flow of breathing, not having to alter our breath in any way, not forcing our breath or lengthening our breath in any way, but just being an observer, the breath naturally occurring. And we're naturally just placing our attention at the nostril area. You may feel the breath more at the left nostril or the right nostril or both the nostrils. Some of you may be aware of the sensation of breath lower down the nostrils or the upper lip or inside the opening of the nostrils or higher up in the nostril area. Just become aware of where you're feeling the breath the most, the sensation of air passing through the nostril the most, and just focus your attention there. And as you focus your attention there, just being an observer, just being a witness, watching that sensation as the breath comes in, watching that sensation as the breath goes out. If you find observing the sensation of breath at the nostril area too subtle, then you can start off by placing your hand on your abdomen area. And as you breathe in, you can feel your abdomen rise as your abdomen expands and fall as you breathe out. So just watching the rise and the fall of the abdomen near the navel area. And then once your attention has developed, strengthened, and then bring your attention to the nostril area and just observe the breath at the nostril area, watching the natural flow of breathing coming in and out. Observing where you feel the sensation of the breath the most, the left nostril, the right nostril, or both the nostrils. You may find as you start to observe the breath, you start to alter it in some way or lengthen the breath in some way. Just be aware of this. And in its own time, the breath naturally starts to flow in its own rhythm. And you're just an observer of the rhythm of the breath, the flow of the breath, the length of the breath, the different sensations that breathing creates within you. Just being a witness or observer, simply watching. and your attention will naturally move to different thoughts, to different experiences, different sounds, sensations in the body, different emotions, different thoughts appearing. But whenever you recognize your attention is not with the breath, just notice where your attention is in that moment with some particular thought or experience. And just observe that experience in a non judgmental way, just seeing that thought as it is, simply a thought appearing within your awareness. Observe also if the sense of I, the sense of identity, is identifying with that particular thought or emotion or experience. Maybe that sense of identity, sense of I, is reacting to that thought, grasping onto pleasant thoughts and pushing away negative thoughts, or giving your attention and energy to that particular thought, emotion. Just be a witness if this is occurring also. And then gently guide your attention back to the breath and the nostril area, watching the breath coming in and out. The breath an anchor for the meditation practice, grounding your attention in the present moment. Each time practicing in this way, each time you recognize your attention is caught up with some thought, recognize your attention is habitually swinging and grasping onto different thoughts and experiences. And you recognize this and you know that you're not aware of the breath, then simply observe that experience, that thought, observe any identification, sense of story, identity you're creating around that particular experience, how you may be reacting to that experience. And then just recognize that you're simply aware of that experience. Recognize that awareness as an unchanging, undisturbed awareness of whatever experience you're having. The sense of identity itself may get caught up in that thought or experience or emotion, but that awareness itself is just present, it's just simply aware. And then bring your attention back to the breath. That sense of just being aware of just awareness at the very core of who you are, even before the sense of I as a separate identity, the sense of just being aware of, sense of awareness itself, presence. The sense of I, identity, the personal self-image we hold of ourselves is what grasps onto different thoughts, memories of the past, the future, different emotions, and creates a story around them. And this sense of identity itself gets disturbed by this constant flow, unconscious flow of the movement of attention and memories and impressions, and gets caught up in this cycle of experience. But as you become more self-conscious, more conscious of this dimension of identity and how it interacts with thoughts and experiences, and how it reacts and identifies itself with thoughts and experiences, then you'll recognize that deeper level of being, a sense of awareness presence in which this appearance of experience appears and disappears within. And this awareness just present here now, present with the breath, present with any thought or experience which may be occurring within itself. And feeling a natural calmness, tranquility as you focus on the breath, your attention slowing, absorbing onto the breath, attention absorbing onto the breath, and your thoughts decreasing, and feeling a natural spaciousness in the mind, feeling the calmness and tranquility through the body and mind. That calmness and tranquility, a fragrance of this deeper presence, your deeper essential being. Noticing wherever your attention is in this moment, noticing the thought experience you're having, recognizing it's just a simple thought appearing within your awareness, noticing how you may be identifying with that experience, and noticing the very sense of I that's identifying with that experience, even the sense of I that's identifying and reacting to that experience. There's awareness of this sense of I as well, this sense of identity, aware of this sense of identity, aware of the movement of attention, aware of the thought, impression, aware of the identification, reaction. Simply aware of this movement of energy, movement of form within oneself. And then grounding your attention back to the breath. And slowly, as you mature in this practice, your attention will rest into that sense of just awareness itself. And as this awareness is wherever the attention is focused, the simple awareness of that experience, whether it's the breath, the thought, or emotion. You can see every experience arising and passing within oneself. aware of this sense of identity, this sense of I as well, that asserts itself as a separate sense of self, aware of this as well, and then recognizing that awareness behind it, a presence in which the sense of identity appears within. You don't have to stop thought, you don't have to stop the sense of I, but just recognize that awareness is just naturally aware, whether there's an appearance of thought experience, there's an appearance of the sense of I reacting to these impressions or not. That awareness itself is naturally unchanging, ever present, is undisturbed by any experience. And then moving now to the third eye meditation, so still focusing on the breath at the nostril area. And now, as you breathe in, feeling a flow of energy rising up through the nostrils to the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, just allowing your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. Breathing in, feeling energy, a flow of energy moving up the nostrils to the third eye, the point in between the eyebrows. As you exhale, just allowing your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. So just doing this process for a few minutes. If you wish to stay with the breath, you can do. If not, just visualize the breath as a flow of energy. As you inhale, energy flowing upwards to the point in between the eyebrows. As you exhale, energy gathering, your attention and energy gathering at the space in between the eyebrows. And just doing this in a relaxed way, not being creating any tension. Feeling the breath as a natural flow of life force energy. This life force energy flowing upwards to the third eye area, the point in between the eyebrows as you inhale. And as you exhale, that life force energy focusing at the point in between the eyebrows. And then as you go deeper into the practice, as you start to feel this third eye area activate, you may feel some sensation tingling. And as your attention more rests more naturally, and as you start to gaze inwardly at this point in between the eyebrows, you may start to feel your attention move backwards to the center of the brain, moving from this point in between the third eye to the center of the brain. And just feeling as you're just simply aware in this space, the third eye area space, just simply a sense of awareness of this space. Thoughts may come and go, you may be still aware of the breath, but your attention is focused at this point in between the eyebrows. And then slowly dropping the technique of following the breath up and feeling, visualizing the flow of energy, and just allowing your attention just to rest now at this point in between the eyebrows. Feeling with your eyes closed, feeling your eyes inwardly gazing up at this point. A gentle gaze at this point in between the eyebrows. And as the energy deepens, you start to feel the energy move back from this point in between the eyebrows back to the center of the brain, and just feeling a sense of awareness, inward awareness, your attention moving from focusing on the outer senses and the normal mind, and your attention start to turn 180 degrees and turn into the depths of oneself through the third eye, looking into the center of the brain, feeling as though you're looking within oneself, peering into the depths of one's self. The third eye being the sense of intuition, sense of the inner eye, of observing the inner reality of oneself. Gently gazing at the space in between the eyebrows, and then as it deepens, allowing the attention to move back to the center of the brain and just observing any experience which arises, just observing thoughts coming and going, the breath flowing, whatever is occurring in this moment, just a sense of awareness of that experience. Watching any experience from the third eye area, seeing thought as simply thought, emotions as just a movement of energy, observing the different stories playing within oneself, stories of the past, the future, observing any desires within oneself, observing with a sense of I, identity, and of self-image of ourselves and of the world. So observing this from the third eye area. Thought, simply thought, a movement of energy within oneself. Every experience arising and passing within oneself. Gentle gaze at the point in between the eyebrows, allowing the attention then to move from the point in between the eyebrows to the center of the brain. And just observing any experience which appears in the moment, not controlling the experience in any way, just allowing thoughts to come and go within oneself. Wherever the attention, watching the movement of attention itself, moving to different objects, observing the sense of identity, grasping onto certain experiences, and just allowing everything to flow as it is, not having to suppress any thought, or anything, just simply in a state of awareness. And as you go deeper, just recognizing this sense of awareness as the very core essence of oneself, this sense of awareness before even the sense of separate I, sense of separate self, before even the sense of me as a person. There's something which is aware of this sense of me as well. And this awareness is ever present here and now. This awareness has no name, no form, no location, just simply here, just simply is presence itself, being itself. And all forms of thought, forms of the sense of identity, thoughts, emotions, simply a movement of energy, of different vibrations, different frequencies, manifesting and dissolving within one's presence, within one's consciousness. This sense of presence awareness is like space. In space, different objects can arise and pass, can appear and disappear within. But that space is unaffected by any object or by any experience. Normally, our perception is focused on the objects of our experience. But now, recognizing what is aware of any experience, instead of focusing on the object of experience, we're recognizing the space and the very essence in which experience comes and goes. Recognizing the very core of our own existence. And there's not someone separate, there's not a separate identity which is recognizing this, but simply that awareness and that presence recognizing itself, recognizing its own existence, absorbing into itself, the attention absorbing into the core of one's being. And then slowly can drop, focusing your attention on the third eye, the breath, or any object of meditation. And as you drop, focusing on any object, just allow the attention to rest, to absorb back into its source, to absorb back into this space of presence, being, sense of simply being aware here and now. There's no effort to be aware. This awareness is naturally is. This present naturally is. There's no sense of identity or I that needs to make an effort to recognize this. But that awareness naturally is. It's not lost. It's not found. Only obscured by the sense of identity which identifies and connects to thought and experience, and creates its own dream reality. A natural sense of joy, natural sense of love, natural sense of contentment, fulfillment, being a fragrance of oneself, being a fragrance of this consciousness itself, a sense of bliss for no reason at all, just for simply existing here and now. No sense of separation in this essence of one's being, no sense of separation, no sense of lack, complete, beyond thought, beyond language. Your very being, your very presence is this is a source of that peace, happiness, and joy that the sense of identity seeks for in different objects. But the very core of one's existence is that peace, is that happiness, is that joy. Normally, momentarily, a sense of identity as it fulfills the desires, you rest and experiences that natural peace and joy from that core of one's being before another desire, before another thought, an object is creating within one's consciousness. You simply experience a peace and joy within oneself, which is the core of your being, which is ever present. That peace, that joy is not found in any object or experience. It's simply the existence, natural state of existence, comes from your being, the core of who you are. Relaxing, resting in this recognition, abiding in this recognition. Only when the attention moves back into this sense of identity, and the identity gets caught back into its impressions of thoughts and emotions and a sense of separate self, then you feel there's this feeling of being separate from this reality. This recognition sort of fades away into the background, as your attention hooks back in by habit, hooks back into the sense of separate I and the world and the thoughts and emotions and the separate personal image story we create within our minds. And the more the attention and energy is caught in this cycle, the more this sense of underlying reality of who you are is obscured. But when the mind is settled and the attention is withdrawn back into one's core, there's that natural recognition there. And you are never lost or found. This state of being it naturally is. Only in the world of impressions, our identity evolves and changes. Our roles change with time and space, and everything still can flow on this level, on the personal level. It's a natural flow, but the unchanging space of being is ever the same. And so now, as we finish this meditation, just coming back to the breath, coming back to the body, recognizing the awareness of this sense of physical body and the different sensations in the body. There's awareness of the flow of the breath and the different sensations it creates in the body. There's awareness of this sense of I, identity, me as a separate person, which may also arise. There's awareness of thoughts, different emotions, and everything can play within this awareness. Everything is just a simple movement of energy within oneself, not having to suppress anything, just recognizing who you truly are and recognizing the reality of experience, not having to run away from any experience, seeing experiences as it is. And then bringing your attention back into the external senses, back into the sense of touch, sitting down, feeling the sensations in the legs, the back, the hands, the feet, the sense of temperature on the skin, aware of the sense of taste in the mouth, smell in the nostril area, aware of any sounds, the sound of one's breath, heartbeat, the sounds inside the room, outside the room. And then in your own time, opening your eyes in your own time, aware of the sense of light, form. And so just taking your time after this session, drinking plenty of water, taking some food, some fruit to help ground you. And so I'll be leaving some time now. If anybody's got any questions, you can leave it in the chat and I can reply to you through this audio, or you can, turn your video on or leave it off and, unmute your mic and You can speak if you wish to. If not, you're welcome, to leave right now. The next session will be next Sunday at 2 p.m. I'll be uploading this video onto Facebook and YouTube, so you can, return back to use it as a guided meditation in your own time and space. But none of the videos of any participants will be shared. Event is free. If you wish to give